What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Stocks to Watch. And today was a day for energy stocks. I mean, after SJVN secured financing of about 500 billion Indian rupees from REC, PFC, SJVN, NHPC, I mean, every single energy stock was on a roll. So again, Nifty is near all-time highs, meaning that we have corrected about 300 points from the 20,000 mark, which we were about to reach. But after Infosys and all the other IT stocks started to tank, we are about 300 points off the all-time highs. And right now, it's earnings season where we have seen that companies are coming in with good earnings, and that is impacting stock prices. So I think the next week and the week after that is going to be driven by earnings, management commentary, and upgrades and downgrades. So there's going to be a lot of catalysts that are going to come in for a lot of stocks. I mean, just look at what dairy stocks have done. Dudla Dairy, Parag Milk Foods, Heritage Foods, all of them have done extremely well after very strong quarter and very good re-rating that has come in from the brokers. So now today, and what I also saw is that a lot of chemical stocks and a lot of recent insurance, companies that did not move in the insurance space or the insurance rally, they have started to move in, and a lot of PSUs have shown very good momentum and very good action. So in today's episode, we're going to cover a few stocks that I'm going to be watching out for tomorrow, and I will also tell you on how different IPO companies or the companies which did not really have a great IPO or they had a great IPO and then they fell and are trading near the lows, on how they are becoming new institutional favorites right now. So let's quickly get started with the episode. And the first stock that I have on the list is Strides Pharma, or Star. So now this company has had a very good run, and now now the entire base contraction is starting to set up. Now this could lead to another impulsive upside move, because this is a very low volume, narrow base that the stock has created, and we've seen a lot of pharma companies do well. So this is expected to do extremely well, Strides Pharma. So keep a watch out on this. This is a stock that I will be a little careful, while trading it, because this is slightly illiquid and the moves are a little rampant. But with that being said, I think this is a very good stock, to keep on radar. Next up is has got to be HAL. Now, Hindustan Aeronautics is a company where I already, have a position. That's a disclaimer. We all at StockWiz, we have a position in Hindustan Aeronautics, and the reason why we've, taken this position up is number one, after a big run up, the stock is currently contracting in a base. That's one. Number two, there are dried up volumes, which is leading to consolidation. And number three, there are significant catalysts that are coming in. So recently, they secured an order from the Argentine Defense Ministry for some helicopters. And we have seen that stocks like BEML, stocks like BDL, BEL, they have been doing extremely well. So defense stocks are always on the radar, I think, post in the last 3 or 4 months. And hence, I think HL is making a nice contraction base right now. And I think this is going to explode in the coming few trading sessions. So that's something that's going to be on my radar. Next up is Deepak Nitrite. So now this is one stock which I will be very cautious, because chemical stocks have had a very bad run. Chinese economy and the Chinese market is very low. It's actually dead, and you will see a lot of chemical companies not doing well. So Deepak Nitrite, after correcting it, about 20-30% from the highs, has come down to an area of previous weekly demand, and now the stock is starting to contract in like a very tight base, and I think that is going to be a trigger for the stock to probably move on the upside. So that is going to be another stock that I will be tracking. So this is not going to be one of my favorite names to trade tomorrow, but I think it could be a value buy for like a swing opportunity on the upside. So that is why Deepak Nitrite. Now, another interesting name that I have on the list is Indus Towers. And again, this is another stock that I will be very cautious in trading. So now there are a few stocks like Deepak Nitrite and Indus Towers, which I'll be cautious on because they're risky bets. Why are they risky? Both of them depend on a lot of catalysts. That's one. And number two, Indus Towers, after reporting good set of updates regarding their payments that are to be received from Vodafone Idea. Vodafone Idea was not able to refinance its debt, and that is the only overhang on the stock. Now the stock has created a decent base, but what I feel is that this stock is quite undervalued in terms of the 5G play and the 5G theme that is coming in. In 3 days, earnings are coming up for this stock, so it could be a make or break for this stock. So keep this on radar. Do not trade this, but keep this on radar, there could be a lot of action in this counter. Next up is SJS, and this is probably a very, very good name to kind of track. Now, the stock, what it has done is after coming out of this recent IPO base. So the stock came out on of its IPO at around 547 rupees. After creating a base for about 1.5 years, the stock has come out of the range, and now the stock has created another base. And we have seen a good volume activity. So I think this is going to be a very, very interesting name that I will keep on my radar for tomorrow. And I think there could be very good action that could start coming in SJS Enterprises. So this is one stock that I'll definitely be keeping on my radar. Next up is NIACL. Now, this is a stock that I would not trade in terms of swing, but I think from an intraday perspective, I would like to explore this because Jikri and NIACL have both been into a base, and these are the insurance companies I was talking about earlier in the video. So they have come out of a base. There's good volume activity, and if they take this base out, it's going to be spectacular. So I think that's the reason I will keep NIACL on my radar. But again, NIACL, Indus Towers, Deepak Nitrite are not my top picks. Rather, I will focus on something like HUL, SJS, and the next name, which is BASF. Now, this is another agrochemical stock, which has been consolidating into a nice tight base. We saw good volume activity today. This stock has earnings tomorrow and today, I think. So maybe they have come out with earnings, but irrespective of what happens with earnings, the price action is telling me that there's good accumulation that's happening in the stock. So I will keep this on my radar as well, BASF. Next stock is a very interesting name, which is Cochin Shipyard. Now, Cochin Shipyard, after a very, very, very long wait, has finally decided to come near its all-time high, and now it's creating a very tight VCP base, and the volumes are declining, which I absolutely love. And I think this could be a very, very spectacular, trade coming in tomorrow. So there's going to be a breakout of this entire area. I usually like to enter before that. I have not entered into the stock right now, but tomorrow, from an intraday perspective, or maybe from a BTST swing perspective, I think this could be very, very interesting stock to watch out. So now let's come to the next stock, which is Suprajit, which is probably one of my favorite from this entire list. Now, Suprajit, after creating like a wide base, so Suprajit initially created this base, right? After that, it created another base, and now it's creating another base. And Suprajit is from the auto OEM space, and this is a very, very beautiful setup to trade. So I think there could be fantastic activity in this, and that there should be at least 5 or 10% upside from here in Suprajit. So definitely keep this on your radar. Now, next stock that I have on my list has got to be Wellspun India, and now this is another name where we already have a position in. That's a disclaimer. So Wellspun India has been making a very big, broader base after the company has restructured itself, and right now is the perfect time to be able to catch the entire base breakout that could last up to 110 or 120 odd rupees. So that's the name that I'll be keeping on watch. The entry is still there for a swing trade, but there are earnings coming up in 4 days. Be mindful of that. And we already have a position. That's a disclaimer. And I feel this is also a stock that could explode tomorrow, day after, and this in this entire week. So keep this on your radar. Next up is Stovecraft, and Stovecraft I have discussed earlier as well that this stock has been creating a very nice base, and I think tomorrow or day after this could be ready to explode anytime. And we have seen Tata Steel report very good numbers. Net profit numbers were a very big beat against the estimates. So metal stocks could be in focus, and this is like a proxy play on metals because they manufacture utensils. So it's going to be interesting to see if this base gets taken out neatly tomorrow in Stovecraft. And this is again another beaten down IPO stock, right? The stock has come out probably near its IPO base area. So I think this could be a good buy and a good trading opportunity, provided if it sets up tomorrow in the nicest possible way. Next up is Ethos Limited, and I think this is also one of my very, very strong names. I think I'm going to be tracking this very closely. The reason for Ethos is that after coming out of multiple bases, right? So this is again another similar story, right? Ethos created like a very tiny base first, then after that, after a big impulse, it created its broader range, and post clearing of that range, we have seen that Ethos is currently contracting near its previous major supply resistance. Now there are multiple catalysts that have come in Ethos. Swiss imports of watches to India has increased multifold, and this is one of the plays in the premiumization theme that has been going on. And I think this is not ready for a breakout or a break of this range probably tomorrow, but based on the volume activity that I'm seeing, I think this could start exploding from tomorrow or day after. So keep this on your radar as well. And next up is probably one of the best, one of the best structures in the entire market, and that is Imagica. Now the stock was up 10% today, and that is the only bummer and the only thing which is putting everything off, because now the risk reward has to be kind of managed very carefully. But just look at this base, look at the volume contraction. It is perfect. I think this could explode really well. This is very similar to another stock that I'd shared previously with you, and I will just add that stock into the list, which is RITES. So if you remember in the episode which aired on Thursday, right, we were discussing that RITES could be one of the most explosive movers, and from there, RITES is up 20%, more than 20%. It was up about 10% intraday today as well, 10% yesterday, and this has done spectacularly well. Another name based on the similar setup and similar structure was IRFC. We played that, we captured a nice 7% move in IRFC, and if you look at IRFC, this also did exactly the same thing, and we traded both of them. So all of these stocks are really, really interesting. Now, SJVN, I'll just show you what energy stocks did. So if you look at, today's action in the mid cap, small cap space, you will understand what happened today. Majority of that was led by, SJVN. If you look at this, you look at Dodla Dairy. This is a dairy company. You look at NHPC, you look at PFC, you look at REC. I think REC should be somewhere down there. But all of these energy names were the star of the market. And I think the next couple of weeks is going to be for energy companies. It's going to be for companies in the defense space, and it's going to be, for companies which have been beaten down, IPOs. Avas Financiers is another position that I'm currently in. I'll be breaking that down. So a lot of action and a lot of stock specific action. We're not even seeing sectors moving together. Sugar stocks, a lot of sugar stocks spiked today, but I'm not really interested in trading sugar stocks because they're very cyclical and they're probably at the peak of their cycle. So I'm not really focusing on sugar stocks, but what I'm focusing on is all of these names. And as I said, my favorite name probably from tomorrow has to be, if I have to choose, right? So HAL is number one. Number two has got to be SJS. Number three, BASF. And number four, I think Imagica. And number five would probably be Superajit. So all of these names are going to be something on my radar. And these are the stocks that I'm going to be watching out for tomorrow. So if you like such content, please consider subscribing and hit the like button. If you're new here, comment down below if you like the analysis. And I wish you all the best for your trading day tomorrow. And see you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in. Bye bye and take care.